on this stage, we have tried all day to give you the male perspective across generations. So I thought it's only fitting that we have one of our youngest partners, Rishabh Shah, if we can put our hands together to welcome him on stage. Okay, Rishabh, there you are. And can I get Javed Saab's award out, please? From a young man to a younger man. From a young man to a younger man. Can we have a big round of applause for Javed Akhtar? Thank you, Javed Saab. And now, bye Javed Saab, thank you. As I said, we've heard perspectives from all ages, and I'm going to hand the floor now to Rishabh, who's here as an equality charmer, as a young man looking at all of these debates. Rishabh, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Barkha. Thank you. Mic is okay, yeah. Everyone's going and getting an autograph of Javed, sir. Please get one for me as well. I'll keep my part a little short. I currently sound like Arnab Goswami's met Taylor Swift. And this is because it's been 4.5 countries, and then I was in Delhi, and the flight from Miami went to Heathrow. It went from Heathrow to Delhi, and then in Delhi we couldn't take off because nobody could see what was happening next. I'll begin with something that I've prepared, and I've been given a piece of paper saying, Rishabh, you need to be politically correct. Everyone in this room, I'm pretty sure, believes in equality. But then we suddenly board a flight, and people in Zone 1 start behaving as if they are royalty. Those in South Bombay didn't get the joke. They only travel business class. But I just want to thank Barkha for the opportunity to be able to talk to all of you and to be a part of this event. It gives me immense pride and pleasure to be associated to We the Women, and she's doing some remarkable work. I've got the opportunity to listen, to learn, and now it's my time to speak. The only problem is I sound like this, so I'm going to keep it limited, like I said. So now let's talk about the elephant in the room, and I'm not talking about Donald Trump, of course. I was told that be politically correct, so that is what I'm trying to be. 50 years ago, women were leaders of tomorrow. And even today, there are about 25 countries out of 194 that have female heads of nations. Only 10% of our Fortune 500 CEOs are actually women. And in my humble opinion, the problem is that we idolize the West too much. We look at the West and we say the West is going to solve most of our problems. I personally believe that America's problems are not India's problems. The 5 people from IMON are clapping. But I believe fundamentally that America's problems are not India's problems. And I believe that whilst America has failed to produce a woman president, India has produced 2 female speakers of the parliament. India has produced 2 female presidents and 1 female prime minister. The sad reality is this, that despite women being worshipped in this country, and this is the only country where women are actually worshipped. There is no other religion where women are worshipped. You've got Ma Durga, Ma Saraswati and Ma Lakshmi that are worshipped in our culture. It's not worshipped in any other country, in any other culture. And I think, therefore, India's problems need India's solutions. So this is what I fundamentally believe in. And I'm a very strong believer on this because I feel that for far too long, the Western concept of women empowerment is not something that we should imbibe. The solution to these problems are in Indian culture. For Gen Z, and how many of you are Gen Z, make some noise. I'll use an Instagram meme which I think you'll understand better. It goes by Parampara, Pratishta and Anushasan. And the dichotomy of two Indias is not lost on me. I understand the fact that whilst we worship goddesses, at the same time, 4 women are raped every hour in India. Education for girls is increasing, and for every 1,000 boys, we have 1,020 girls. We're bridging the education gap. We have 70% literacy for girls and 77% for boys. But I feel the solution essentially is not Beti Padhao, Beti Badhao, or not Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao, but it is fundamentally also Bete Ko Samjhao. And that is something that is missing in our society. It's about equality, about recognizing men and women are born equal and that they should be equally empowered to succeed in every realm. What I'm about to say next is slightly controversial, and therefore I'll leave this. Feminism has been defined today on this stage, I'm sure, by many people. But feminism for me is not about demanding more rights by pushing somebody else down. Feminism for me is the fact that everybody should be treated equally, and the fact that there should be a more egalitarian society. And that is what true feminism should stand for. Because otherwise it'll be a tit-for-tat game which will be just like politics, where one politician gets jailed for 106 days and then the other one is jailed for 105. For the 4 people who understood that, I'm very grateful. For the ones who didn't understand that, I'm even more grateful. For me, what feminism is that yes, women should be fighter pilots, women should be soldiers, women should be what they want to be. But at the same point in time, I think for far too long, and especially in a generation that is very woke, and you can cancel anybody and anything. And I'm a slightly older generation of millennial. Just one generation above Gen Z and 2 above Gen Alpha. I get worried because I think traditional roles for women should be as celebrated as when women take up more challenging and arduous roles like being female fighter pilots. What I'm trying to say is, I was raised by a homemaker, by a housewife, and she did this out of choice. She took on the role of being a home giver, being a homemaker out of choice. In today's day and age, I don't know how many people celebrate homemakers as much as they would celebrate people who would take more unconventional career choices. Let's not start cancelling out people who are the most important fabric also of our society. India's culture has been intact. India's society has been intact because we've had a tradition of homemakers in our families, something that does not exist in the West, where there is a nuclear setup, and in that nuclear setup, everybody is for themselves. Here your mum, I'm sure, is yet concerned what you're doing at 8 o'clock at Sophia College. And I fundamentally believe that homemakers essentially need to be as celebrated for this specific reason, that these are the people who hold the fabric of Indian society together. Therefore, my thing, like I said, is, and I reiterate once again, is that yes, women should make all the choices by themselves. Yes, they should definitely go and make the unconventional conventional. Yes, the impossible should be broken into I am possible, but let's not forget to celebrate those who take the conventional route and who hold the fabric of our society together. With some people in the audience organically are clapping, thank you. And I'll summarize and end this with a couple of things. I fundamentally believe, at least, that women are the better leaders. There is no doubt about it. I believe that women are the ones who should lead the country and the globe. I think 25 out of 194 heads of nations is too little. I feel it should be 194 out of 194 heads of nations if you were to ask me. But female leaders and women in power are also as important, in my humble opinion, that as people who are men who empathize and who understand how things should work across the world and who believe in a more egalitarian world. So what I was trying to say is this, that women are definitely the better leaders. Men also can make some sense. It's a women's college and perhaps dangerous to say that. The platform is called We the Women. But I'll tell you something for sure. For me at least, it's never just been the true definition of feminism and the true definition of what we try to do at IMON, which is unite the world the Indian way. The true definition of that is it's not just we the women, it's not just we the men, it's definitely not we the men. For me, it has been, it's we the people of this country that will make the country great again. Thank you. One teacher is waving a hand and saying, well done. But I don't study in the college, so you can't give me credit. But thank you very much for being such a wonderful audience and listening in a slew of luminaries to listen to somebody who dresses like this, looks like this, and then Barkha had to say, you know, because she had to say something nice. So she said, a youngest partner. But thank you so much, Barkha, for having us.
Not at all. And there's a young woman here who has a question for you. So we have time for just one question.
So you spoke a bit about the importance of homemakers, which I agree. I mean, it's important to have caregivers in the family and how we should celebrate women for being caregivers. I'm just curious about how you feel about encouraging men and fathers to take on the role of a homemaker, a caregiver in that kind of proportion.
I think it's equally important, and many of my friends who are starting young families, many of them, the role has been reversed, and men are the ones who are homemakers per se. So I definitely agree with what you are saying that men should also be pushed to take on roles such as those. There is no denying that. Like you did mention at the very outset, the important thing is also to realize that women should also be celebrated for choices that are slightly more conventional. And men should be pushed to do things such as homemaking, which I completely agree with.
Thank you, Rishabh.
Thank you.
And thank you for being a part of this event. Lots of love and thank you.